It seems to me that every time we ask you a question about plans or about your vision, we can't really get a concrete answer.
I think you get.
Is it better
I think
or is it worse?
No.
Mejor o peor?
I think if you let me finish,
Okay.
you'll get a concrete answer. I mean, to be honest about it. So the truth is, I think that there are parts of it that are better.
You're siding with the unions in both conflicts, labor conflicts, but you're running for the executive position of the city. And a lot of people are criticizing you, saying, well, you're going to be in the bag of the unions if you're elected.
Look, I know a lot about the executive branch of our city government. I spent 4 years on the staff.
Because, like you say, maybe the voters were waiting for some other kind of personality. We went from very opinionated mayors to maybe some say some sort of fatherly figure mayor.
Which am I?
That you provided.
Oh, I don't know. I think most people criticize me for making decisions. I believe my job is to make decisions.
But some people believe and criticize you because they think that you're some sort of father, even hiding information from the public, like you were criticized last week.
You know, I just wasn't my job to ruin somebody's life. That family had enough problems, and it had nothing to do with the public once that was an issue where obviously somebody couldn't serve.
And I'm running exclusively for the 13th Congressional District. And I told the congressman a couple of weeks ago, and I'm telling him again, that I did not circulate petitions for the Senate, and I'm running for Congress. And I intend, on the 26th of this month, to be the congressional member for the 13th Congressional District.
So if you don't want this election, you won't be running for the state Senate?
Right now, I'm running to become...
No, but it's a really straight
question. Right now, I'm telling you, I'm giving you the answer. You may not like to hear it, but I'm giving you the answer. I am running to become the congressional member for the 13th Congressional District, and I am not circulating any petitions for any other office in the state.
You haven't denied the fact that, among other things, you didn't pay taxes for years on a Dominican home you used to have. And back in 2010, your excuse was, and I quote, cultural and language barriers. You said that when trying to make payments, and I quote again, every time I thought I was getting somewhere, they'd start speaking Spanish. Do you think that those cultural and language barriers will be an obstacle to effectively represent the newly drawn Hispanic majority district?
That was not my statement. And the reporter has said that, and I've never had the opportunity to deny it. The truth of the matter is that, and this will shock you, I paid each and every dollar's worth of taxes.
But let me interrupt you, Asi, because that question, I knew, many people knew that his dad was Puerto Rican. I asked the question, he never raised it. And after asking the question, he can't say, no, it's not true. He would be lying. So I think we put the congressman in a really complicated position that he didn't want to be in, and he never tried to exploit this politically. And I have to say that I really believe that. We've interviewed many politicians. We know when they're trying to use something politically. Sure. He's not doing it in this case.
What is the future of journalism? How do we move forward, journalistic speaking, and dealing with democracy in this country and what we do?
Well, I think we don't have to be afraid of the future. I think there's a bright future for journalism. We don't have to be afraid of the changes, of the new methods or ways of communicating the information. I think we have to try to learn new ways to communicate that information. But at the end of the day, it's a really good time for journalists, really good time for media. It's just that now we have more media, and it's always been the case that government or power always tries to influence media. So that's nothing new.
Sure.
Real quick, Juan Mann, you're looking at the State of the Union address, not the actual address by the president, but the response.
Marco Rubio, that's a huge story. For the first time, the guy that speaks Spanish is the main guy. You know, it's not a liability, but an asset that he speaks Spanish. And until now, you always had the Spanish-speaking politician who would be a low-profile person going after the official response. This time is the guy talking to Hispanics and also to the mainstream. And I think the political establishment in Washington has come to realize that in the next couple of decades, this country is going to be adding millions of new citizens of Hispanic origin, and that Hispanic issues are mainstream issues. And I think also it's interesting to know that he's articulate, young, potential
presidential candidate. Sounds familiar, right?
A lot of pressure on him. We'll see how it goes.